Buddhism, like all religions, seek to find an answer that pretty much covers many things that we have questions about, many things that perhaps disturb us, many things that perhaps interrupt our lives or interrupt the lives of people around us, or even maybe doing things to us that we don't even know it's doing. And Buddhism, like every other religion, seeks to address that question. And what happens is there are many questions that cannot be answered, but there are also many questions that can be answered. And the questions that can be answered are on our intellectual level that we can perceive. For example, if we have a child that's 6 or 7 years old, there's no possibility you can explain to that child something that you learn in university or college or as a postgraduate or whatever. It's impossible. And it isn't that if the child says, I don't understand, or it doesn't seem right to me, it doesn't mean what you have is wrong. It simply means that the child's ability to perceive and to comprehend is not developed at that time. Similarly, there is knowledge there that's very difficult for us to comprehend. And that is not to say, oh, you're stupid, I'm stupid, and we can't understand it. But it's a logical process of getting knowledge slowly. Slowly. Nothing in your life you've gotten knowledge overnight. Nothing in your life you've learned overnight. Everything that is anything of worthwhileness you have received over a period of time. Similarly, spiritual practice is much, much more higher than any type of knowledge you can try to get or try to acquire in a worldly sphere or in a normal life. Simply for the reason, and I'm very oversimplifying it, is that worldly knowledge and worldly activity benefits to a certain limit in this life, and it definitely cannot benefit us at the time of death or our next life. Worldly knowledge can only give us a certain amount of benefit in this life, and even that benefit is dependent on many causes and conditions. But spiritual knowledge is something that goes deeper than food, deeper than comfort, deeper than friends, deeper than acquiring what you want, deeper than trying to find people to do things your way, or you expect things to be this way or that way. It's much deeper than that. Spiritual knowledge goes deep inside at the core of our being. And in Buddhism, we believe that innately, everyone is very good. Everyone is very well. Everyone has the potential to become someone extremely beneficial. Potential or potentiality in Dharma is very, very important, because when you have something, it can be developed. Like a gold nugget in the ground that can be cleaned, siphoned out of the dirt, and melted, manufactured, and produced into beautiful pieces of jewelry that can be sold very high in the market. Similarly, our mind is like a golden nugget in the ground. A small child, or an ignorant person, or one who is not into gold or able to differentiate between metals or has any knowledge of metals, would find it very difficult to find value in gold. That doesn't mean that intrinsically or inherently that gold does not have value. Gold definitely has value. Now, similarly, since gold has intrinsic or inherent value or worth to the human population, which is bringing wealth, therefore, someone who recognizes that wealth and develops and sifts through and cleans and melts and produces beautiful jewelry can acquire wealth. Like that, if the gold was not gold but it was brass, deceivingly looking like gold but it was actually brass, no matter how much time and energy you would put towards it, you would get very little result. So like that, if we were to develop something, you must inherently have something already there to develop. And that potential of development is what we label the Buddha nature, or we have a Buddha inside of us. So when Buddhism talks about each one of us having a Buddha within ourselves, it does not mean we are a separate entity, and within us there's another entity which is a Buddha, and we need to find it. Like going through a maze or something. It's not like that at all. That potentiality or that potential to become a Buddha, a fully enlightened being, is what we call our inherent or intrinsic Buddha nature. And that Buddha nature is temporarily covered intertwined, intermixed, sullied, whatever word you prefer, with basically the most powerful delusion, ignorance, arising from ignorance, attachment, desire, and hatred. Anger, hatred, desire, attachment, which arises primarily from ignorance. So if you're going to talk about these three, ignorance, hatred, attachment, desire, from those stem the 84,000 different types of mental aptitudes, or mental directions, or mind, which means, in simpler terms, that Buddha has given account of the type of minds that sentient beings, not human beings, sentient beings, which human is inclusive of that description. Sentient beings or living beings is only part of it. And there's different combinations of those minds, different types of combinations. And those combinations arise in 84,000 different types of mental afflictions that make us unhappy, suffer, or stay in suffering, or stay in unhappiness, or go towards suffering, or go towards unhappiness. And it leads us to do it again and again and again, like a moth being attracted to the light, but being burned in the process. So, for a split second, the moth is very happy because it's near the light, but the next second it's burned to death. Similarly, our Buddha nature is temporarily like a nugget of gold for many, many lifetimes, obscure. The process of removing the defilements, removing the causes that keep that natural mind, that clear, clean, light mind, or that golden nugget to emerge, is very strong habituation. Very, very, very strong habituation, not only of this life, of many, many, many lifetimes. Many, many lifetimes. So many, many lifetimes of habituation, just like in this life, when we do something over enough, positive or negative, it becomes embedded within our mind stream. When it becomes embedded within our mind stream, we label it very difficult to remove. Very, very difficult to remove. Once we label it difficult to remove, and then we say it's our habit, we've kind of sealed our fate. And then people go to say, well, I'm already 20 years old, I'm 30 years old, I'm 40 years old, I'm 50 years old, I'm 60 years old, I'm 70 years old, on and on and on, and they give many, many excuses for the way they are. But if we look at it from a one-life point of view, yes, the habituation can seem very long, very, very long. But when we look at it from a point of view of many lifetimes, it's just a drop in the ocean. A very small drop in the ocean. So this life, if we look at ourselves at this moment, if we don't think of anything, we clear our mind and we look at ourselves at this moment. First of all, we should think how old we are. That's one. Second is, how much time do we have left? Third is, whatever we've accomplished or not accomplished, according to our own upbringing, that's subjective. Whatever we've accomplished and not accomplished in this life, of what value is it at this time to us? If we were to, tonight, die, close our eyes, have an accident, our plane crashes, car accident, we eat something wrong, we choke, we get robbed, we get shot. If any of these things happen, I pray, forbid you that it doesn't, then any of the things that we've done since the time we were born up till now, of what value would that be? If today was our last day to live. So we contemplate and we meditate, or we think about that again and again and again. I promise you, many of the disturbances we have around us would cease immediately, because all of that doesn't matter anymore. When we think we're going to live forever, and when we make a problem, we have forever to solve it, or we make someone unhappy, we have forever to take care of it, and we just let it go on and on and on and on, is a clear sign of someone who has done no contemplation on our mortality, or one's very, very clear and definite fact that we are going to die. If we talk about disease, if we talk about fear, if we talk about robbery, if we talk about many other horrible incidences such as natural disasters and all that might happen to us, it's an iffy. It's maybe. Can be or cannot be. But if we talk about death, None of us is an exception in this room or anywhere. None of us. Great kings and great masters and great lamas and great beings and great actors and great engineers all have died. Some have built great monuments to themselves. It didn't help them. They are never revived and never resuscitated. We're all going to die. So if we are going to go home after this to a very big house, a very big car, if we're going to die tonight, it doesn't help. If we had an argument with someone prior to this and we wanted to be right and we're arguing that we're right, it doesn't matter anymore. If we displease many people, if we make many people unhappy due to our negative habituations, it doesn't matter anymore. What remains for a spiritual person who knows more, who has the meditative power to see beyond, there is a next life. There is a previous life. For those who do not have the analytical basis, inferential logic to directly perceive or indirectly perceive previous lives and next lives, or those without meditational powers to perceive next life or previous lives, for those beings, it would just be nihilistic where nothing exists. But the fact is this, is that if you were to die, what have you done in your life that is of worth and value? If you say you have a few kids, no offense to anyone, animals can have kids. Animals can rear kids and make them grow. That's not a big deal. If you say you had a wonderful marriage, that's not a very big deal either. Nothing to flaunt and nothing to brag about. If you say that you've had great companies and you have billions and billions of dollars in the bank, that's wonderful for you while you're alive, but when you've died, all your time and energy has gone to producing something that cannot help you at the time of death in the future lives. And if you're attractive, then you have become unattractive. What you've been attached to with your body, washing, cleaning, grooming, washing, cleaning, grooming, will become a very horrible, bloated, blue-black, stinking corpse in just a few days' time. So what we're doing is actually we're grooming, we're washing, we're taking care of a walking corpse. That's ourselves. And when we think of our bodies in that way, to some people they may think, why Buddhism is so gruesome? Why Buddhism is so morbid? Why is it so dark? It's not. You see, we're used to not facing reality. Therefore, we find reality dark. But if we find and we look for reality, you don't find that. Do you see the Dalai Lama was sad? Do you see high lamas or high monks or high nuns or high practitioners sad, unhappy, morbid? But that's what they meditate on. Because they have meditated on the reality of life, which is that life is short and death is around the corner, they change their habit, they change their speech, they change their direction, they change their motivation, they change their whole habituation into bringing happiness for themselves and others because they realize time is short. You will never meet a Tibetan master that's morbid, or that's unhappy, or that's sad, or that's continuously bringing unhappiness to others. You will never meet that. Why? Because they meditate and contemplate on the realities of life, which is what we've avoided. When we think about death, we don't want to talk about it. When we think about the coffin they're going to put us into, we don't want to think about it. They're going to put us into a coffin. Don't look at it from a third-person point of view. Look at it from a first-person point of view. Visualize the ground being dug up for you. Visualize the coffin box, whatever expenses you want to put on it. Be prepared for you. Think about the last clothes you wish to wear, which doesn't make one difference to anyone, yourself or others, but you can't feel it at all. Think about yourself being interred into that box. Sealed clothes. Not able to move, drink, talk, express, fight, love, ever again. Whatever your feelings are, whatever you're unhappy about, whatever you're disturbed about, whatever you're happy about, whatever you're excited about, whatever you're attached about, will never, ever come to be or come to pass again. And then afterwards, they seal the box, which is your inside. Don't look at the box. Look from the box. Look from within. They close it. They seal it. And then they put you inside the ground. When they put you inside the ground, they throw the dirt on you. That's if you're not cremated, which is even more horrible. And once you're buried, they put a stone there. And then, we all hate cemeteries, day or night, especially at night. Well, you're going to be there. Your body's going to be there for the rest of whatever. And if you're lucky, you don't become a wandering spirit running around, scaring people. And then they have to come and look for people like me to scare you back. Let's hope that doesn't end up like that. Just kidding. Let's hope you don't become some kind of wandering ghost. But the reason we visualize all that and we meditate. What I just told you is a meditation. I modernized it for you, but that's in the Lamrim text, written by the great Indian master, Jawapandi Atisha, elucidated very clearly by Lama Tsongkhapa, and again taught in one of the greatest teachings ever taught in Tibet by His Holiness Kajip Pogonka Rinpoche, which is compiled in the Lamrim books. So Lamrim means graduated path to enlightenment. Lamrim. So what happens is in these teachings, when we read about it, it seems morbid. It seems scary. It seems like, why do they always talk about death? Why? We talk about death so we can live. We realize death so that we can make others live. If we talk about death and we meditate on death and we think about it again and again and again, I promise you, many of the wonderful things and the wonderful things that you are doing, you will increase it and you'll make it more. And some of the negative things that you feel toward others, or the negative things you have in your mind, knowing the little bit of time you have left, you will let it go immediately. You will become easy, bright, happy, very, very loose people. Loose not as in not caring, loose as in caring, forgiving, and letting the other person win. Immediately. And if you do this on a daily basis, you'll see your happiness grow. Why? You start living your life, your existence, and you deal with people as if it's your last day on this planet. If you believe in the next life, you have the power of analytical meditation, or you have the power of meditation to see into the next life. Logically, inferential logic that is, or meditational wise, by the power of the mind that has reached awareness. Or you don't believe in the next life. It doesn't really matter. Because would you like to leave a legacy behind you of a selfish, self-centered, grasping, money-minded, gruesome person? Or would you like to leave behind a legacy with your children, with your friends, with the people around you, be they 4 people or be they 400 people, of a person that even in death inspires other people towards a higher self? Example, even the Holy Mother Teresa has left this world, but thinking about her inspires us. Thinking about what she has done moves us. Thinking about her or thinking about her deeds leaves a very strong legacy to motivate us to become better, or that we can become better, or it's a message and a light to us that we have that potential. So if you believe, or you can logically see by logic, inferential logic, that there is a future life, then there's much more hope. Much, much, much more hope than that. Much, much more hope.